Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good? Hey, we are up in here. We are up in here. What's up with my other camera, man? We're not getting nothing at that second camera, huh? Not today, buddy. Not today. Let's see where we at with that. Can anybody save me? Nope. Huh. We had it good. Well, look like we just working with the one camera today, which is cool. Ain't that big of a deal. Uh, damn, did I take out the wrong way? Well, damn, now there's no camera involved whatsoever. We're gonna fix this real quick. Hey, you don't need to see me to know what I'm talking about. This is the I Just Got Off Work show. This is WETF, and I am still your host, CB, aka the Rude Educator. You can hit me up on Instagram. You can hit me up on Twitter. The answer will always be the same. I am going to hit you back as quickly as possible, and we're gonna do the dang on thing. Now, I don't know why my little thing here is tripping, but I do know that we're gonna get it fixed. So I'm gonna keep talking and working on the issue, and we're gonna move right along here. So I may need to do a reset. So that's where we might have stuff fucked up at. Interesting. Let me see if I can add what I need. But at the end of the day, all we doing right now is talking about things and things that need to be talked about. So I know one thing that I had on my mind this morning, of course, is the shooting that happened in Buffalo. As usual, I ain't really do a whole lot of research on it. But what I do know about it is that there was there was some racial motivation behind it, and that's kind of where we at right now with that. It's really a shame that we still dealing with racism on that level in 2022, but we already know the score on that. We already know the various reasons why racism is still prevalent in this country. It started becoming a thing about keeping us down to now. Well, it's still about that, but now it's this propagation of fear to where the people that hate us the most try to make other people that don't know us or don't understand what we've been going through, and they try to just make matters worse by stacking on the lies, stacking on the other amounts of bullshit that go on. So it's something that we deal with, and it's something that we continue to rise above, no matter what capacity that we're in. So we're going to continue to do that. I know that there's a lot of hurt people in Buffalo right now, and then anytime an event like this happens, there's always showing the support and all of that. So let's just keep all those people in mind right now, with positive thoughts. Um, I don't want to do the whole thoughts and prayers thing, but as cliche as people make it seem, that's really all you can do. I just got done talking to my kids about death, and what can you really do once somebody is gone? You know what I'm saying? Like, uh, even when you work in certain things, like when you work in medicine, there's only so much a doctor can do. There's only so much medical staff can do to keep a person from dying. We don't have the technology to keep people alive past their natural time. So we're gonna face that music one way or another. But what is heinous, or what is uh, you know horrible about situation like that, is that it wasn't their time to go naturally. It was something that somebody decided to do that caused their death to happen in a way that is, to say the least, jarring to the community, to the family, and to us as a community on the whole. So let's just keep everybody in our thoughts, keep everybody uh, thinking positively right now, because the world just is always going to need that way of thinking to combat the other way of thinking that causes events like this to happen. So let's keep that going. Um, and it's a lot of other things going on in the world that are just as bad, as that. And whenever there's a mass shooting, it always gets to the forefront. People, it's just the kind of conversation that tantalizes the public. But we still got homeless people out here dying from various things, lack of health care for one. It's so many different issues that face us on a daily basis. It's hard. It's hard sometimes to just focus on one thing, or just think about one thing, without thinking of the others. But we have to try and do our best, so far as continue to live a fruitful and happy life after the fact, and then continue to fight against those that would rather things like this continue to happen. We got to put an end to that way of thinking. We got to put an end to all of the negativity, as much negativity as we can. And the best way to destroy negativity is with positivity. So we're going to stay positive, keep our minds positive, and keep everybody on the same page as far as that's concerned. I know that it's not always easy to keep a positive mindset, especially when you're surrounded by so much negativity. But you have to find a way to use your mind to escape that negativity, and continue to promote and be a source of positivity. So that's my piece on that. I did want to say something about it, only because it's such a big deal. Buffalo, New York is actually in that same area. Niagara Falls is where me and my wife got married, and so we spent some time there. We even took our kids back to Niagara Falls a couple of years later to see where we got married and all of that. And the thing about it is that Buffalo, New York, reminds me a lot about where I'm from, which is Gary, Indiana. And it's the same type of situation where there was a time where the city was thriving. That time has gone away, and the people there, uh, not exactly forgotten about, but definitely not on the top of anybody's list when it comes to, let's see what the people are doing there. So it's tragic, for multiple reasons. That being not the least of them. So shout out to Buffalo, shout out to Niagara Falls, and everybody that's that's really out here having a hard time right now. We're gonna we're gonna keep it moving. It's about 6:45. Ooh, I need my glasses. It's about 6:45, and yeah, man, it's Tuesday. Uh, we we are moving right along in 2022. It's already May 17th, so that means that we only got about uh, 6.5 months left, or 7.5 months left, however you want to look at that, for the year, and then we'll be in a whole nother year, bro. This is what happens when you get older. The years just kind of roll by, but by us communicating on a daily basis, we can keep it moving and make the most of each day, make the most of our 24 hours that we given. So, what's up with the NBA? The NBA playoffs. I gotta say, I'm pretty satisfied with the teams that are left to play in the conference finals. Dallas beat Phoenix in Game 7, bringing their playoff hopes of making it back to the finals to an end. Dashed their hopes. From all accounts, Phoenix did not play the kind of game that would lead them back to the finals, especially against a surging Dallas team that has found a way to win in some pretty bad or pretty tough situations. Luka Doncic, of course, had a great game. And then a couple of his role players, Brunson and Dinwiddie, they got off as well. So it made for a pretty ugly final game to a series that, if a series makes it to 7 games, you kind of expect that seventh game to be, really something to see, or really something going on, but it was not that at all. Phoenix just pretty much fell apart, and Dallas was able to do whatever they wanted to do. In much contrast to that, you had the Boston-Milwaukee Game 7, which Boston came out with the win for that. Had a pretty outstanding game from Grant Williams. I think his name Grant Williams. Red. That's what I call him. Red with the 27 points and everything. So the conference finals is going to be Boston versus Miami, and Golden State versus Dallas, which, for the exception of Golden State, and you could say Miami. Well, when you really think about it, if you think about the last 20 years, those are all teams that have been to the finals in the last 20 years. And actually, all those teams have won championships in the last 20 years. So as much as we like to say that these are new teams, I mean, they haven't won recently, but they've been there. So we have some remnants of past glory still being propagated. I mean, some of those people are still around. Like, you got Mark Cuban is still around in Dallas, and you still have, of course, Golden State still has the nucleus of the team and the coach there. Miami still got the coach and Udonis Haslem there. So, It's all good though. I really am looking forward to the first game tonight, and we'll see what happens. Now, of course, my team has been sitting at home since the end of the first round when Milwaukee put them out. So I really did feel vindicated when Boston was able to take out Milwaukee, and now they're sitting at home as well. Shout out to the Antetokounmpo brothers, who are all now sitting at home with their championship rings. It's all good though. Shout out to Giannis and his brothers for just being in the NBA and playing at a championship level. That's big time. That's big news. Drew Holiday, I think, is the only Holiday brother that has a championship right now. So same thing with Steph versus Seth Curry. So some of these siblings not getting their just desserts, but some of them are. So shout out to all of the second generation, third generation, families that are playing in the NBA, WNBA, or any kind of professional sports together. I think that's a very phenomenal thing. Having a sibling who competed in similar sports as I did, I can just imagine what that's like playing at a professional level with the person that you may have shared a bedroom or at least shared a bathroom with growing up. That is pretty phenomenal achievement, if you ask me. So yeah, we're gonna be watching the finals, of course, and then after the finals, which is gonna still be a couple of more weeks at least, probably more like a few more weeks. I don't know exactly how they schedule the games, down to these last ones, but basketball is coming to an end, so we're not going to talk about baseball, but we will start talking about football, NFL football, that is, because they got a couple of summer leagues right now that we do not be talking about on this show. We're only going to talk about the best, and I consider the best to be the NFL, and we're going to start talking about what teams have been doing on the off season, what they got going on leading into the preseason the end of this summer. So the main thing that I wanted to come on here and talk to y'all about today is it's not really an issue, but it is one of those things that people don't really talk about it a whole lot. I mean, I know I talk about it because of the kind of person that I am, the kind of things that I'm into. But the average person is not talking about this, and I discovered that the average person is not talking about this by talking to some average people, and I don't mean average in any other way except that the things they do, the way that they think, and everything else kind of aligns with the average person more than I do. I am an outlier because of my different quirks, what have you. But every once in a while, I do like to speak to normies and see what's going on with them. So this is well, I'll put it like, let me frame it in this way. Back when Blockbuster Video was still a thing, you used to go in and be able to rent videos. You had to go into a physical store. They would have to have the video that you want in stock because even though they had plenty of copies, especially of new releases, it always seemed like they didn't have enough to serve the total number of people that actually wanted to see it. So you would go into the video stores. Sometimes they would have your movie, and a lot of times they would not have the movie that you wanted to see that particular night. And so me, as a movie a person that really, really loves movies, a cinephile, if you will, I got into my head that they don't have the movie that I want to rent. I'm gonna go buy the movie, and there were other reasons that I would do that too, because a lot of times renting from Blockbuster, if I was enjoying the movie, I might keep it a little bit too long, and then I get charged that late fee, and not even keep it long as I'm watching it, just forget to bring it back, so I get hit with those late fees. Next thing you know, after a few of those late fees, it's almost like you might as well just pay for the movie. So that's where my movie collection started from. Just me buying movies that I liked to avoid late fees, to avoid being disappointed by going to Blockbuster and them not having what I wanted. So you fast forward a few years, where this was V8. The time I'm talking about was VHS tapes were the thing. And we can even date it back to when I was a kid, and my dad used to take me to the video store with him. And, you know, him and my mom would get movies that they wanted, and they'd get us a couple of kiddie joints or whatever. And so it was a family tradition, more or less, so far as the renting. But then the buying, that was pretty much on me. So far as the family was concerned, one of my cousins started collecting a little bit later, which we'll get into. But at the time of the VHS tapes, I feel like I was like, you know, one of the only ones that was going out and buying VHS tapes, you know, to collect them. And you would get like little nice things on the video cassettes when you would buy them. Like the picture on the box might be a hologram, or, you know what I'm saying, like it might come with a little mini poster. So there were other things that you would get from buying the movie versus renting it that were, you know, you could consider perks. But unless you were sending in UPC codes and doing all of that, it wasn't a whole lot. But, you know, they had things that you could do. And so fast forward past that time, I remember how it happened. I got my first DVD player. And so I stopped buying tapes. In fact, I gave all my tapes away. Shout out to G Smith, my boy. And then so you know, I started buying DVDs. And I still had a unit. It doesn't work, but it was a 5-disc changer for is it 5 or 6? It might have been 6 disc changer for DVDs. So you could load it up, and basically you could watch movies until the movies ran out, then load it up with another, you know what I'm saying? So at first, I didn't have enough movies. But over time, started collecting more and more movies. And, you know, you buy them, maybe they're good, maybe they're not, but now it's yours. And you just keep it. I have had some movies disappear from my collection where people said that they would bring them back, and they didn't. Shout out to those folks who shall remain unnamed, because I don't want to burn no bridges, even though you wouldn't bring my shit back. But it's all good. And so that was another chapter in my movie collection saga, because I collected a lot of DVDs, and then DVDs didn't get phased out, but the upgrade to the DVD was the Blu-ray, and I started collecting those as well. And I got real good at it to the point where, you know, we collect the movies, and I got the whole collection of, you know, certain movie franchises. You know, if it came out with like maybe a 4-disc set, I'm getting that because that's got, you know, multiple movies in it. All of these things are collecting. You know, it wasn't anything official about it. It was just me and the way I collected my movies. Okay, so shout out to anybody that collects movies now or used to collect movies and still has a bunch of them hanging around, because it really is a thing. It goes deeper than the actual movies themselves to me. it's like a thing where it's like, okay, I got this, I got that, and if it's a good, if you got a good collection, then I can kind of judge you based on your movie collection. Like if you got a bunch of good action flicks, then what I'm saying, you might be a live MF. But if you got a bunch of chick flicks on your wall, I'm gonna look at you a little different. You know what I'm saying? Not in no particular kind of way, but you might not be as live as as the person with all the diehards and all that good stuff. So it's just a way, it's just another way to judge folks. But I know for my collection is pretty eclectic. I got things, that ride both sides of the field. So, if you're trying to analyze me based on just my movie collection, then you might end up with the wrong idea. But at the same time, you will get somewhat of an idea of what I'm like, because each movie does have a special place in my heart. So during the DVD era, I collected quite a bit of movies. I started doing them by mail order. And then, right around that time where the Blu-rays came out, I remember my first Blu-ray player had an app on it for Netflix. And I didn't exactly know what Netflix was. It was something that just kind of kept coming up. And then next thing you know, okay, so Netflix took Blockbuster out. There's a whole documentary about that. But their business model was, we'll just send you the movies in the mail. And you don't have to worry about getting them back on time, because we'll let you get 3 at a time. And you don't pay us by the movie. You just pay us by the month. This is a subscription service. You get the movies you want when they're available. We'll just send them to you. And then you watch them as long as you want and send them back to us. And we'll send you some more. But you're going to pay that money every month. Okay? And that was the deal. And it worked out for a little bit. And it worked out pretty well, honestly, because you go to the mailbox, you get your movies, you'll watch them, and then if they're good, you keep them a little bit longer. If they bad, you put them right back in the mail and pick some more. But that didn't explain the app on the Blu-ray player, okay? Why is this app? And it didn't make sense at first, because there weren't a whole lot of movies you could watch on the actual service, because that's what they started doing. They would say, well, you can send these movies in and we'll send you these other movies back, but you can also watch these movies right on the service. And again, there's a whole documentary about how Netflix worked and how they took over from Blockbuster and all that. But just to let you know exactly where the streaming phenomenon kind of started from, was Netflix offering certain movies right off their website to watch, versus having to, send off for them and have them sent to you and all that. And there was some pretty sparse titles, to be honest. A lot of the titles that they had back in the day was not the movie that you really wanted to see. It was just some of the ones that they had permission to show on their website. But one of the big things that happened was Netflix got the show Spartacus to stream on their website for free. And Spartacus was a good show. So I remember Cuz put me on to it. Shout out to Nate. He put me on to watching Spartacus on the Netflix website. And so you would go to the little special section, and boom, there it is. You can watch it on demand, boom. Watch Spartacus. And then I figured out a way to hook up my laptop to my TV. And so now we watching Spartacus on the big screen for free. It was dope at the time. And so as their streaming service developed, you're able to see more and more movies on it. And that's when another app popped up in my life called Vudu. Now, at first, Vudu was how you watched your digital copy from the DVD that you bought. Because digital copies, this the Voodoo app, and there are other apps like it now, but at the time I think Voodoo was the only one, and they're still around. So shout out to them. Voodoo Fandango kind of merged with them, kept them alive, which I appreciate because that's why my movies are now, and which is the point that I'm trying to get to. But Voodoo, what the digital copy was not uniform. The digital copy depended on who you bought it from, and a lot of times it would be a download that you put the disc in your computer or you put the code in, and then that would take you to a website, and then you could download the movie. And now you got the movie in digital form, and you could watch it on your phone if your phone had enough memory, or you could watch it on your computer, something like that. But you still had the disc where you could watch it on your TV through a DVD player or a Blu-ray player, whatever they had. So what Voodoo did is they basically centralized where you watch your digital copies. So instead of having like a 20th Century Fox digital copy and it's downloaded in this format that only works on this kind of machine, then Voodoo provided a place to where whenever you bought your physical disc, you just come in, put in the code, and say, yeah, I want the Voodoo copy, and now that's another, movie from your collection that you have physical copy and a digital copy. And so it was a while before I figured out, oh, I can just buy the movie right off Voodoo. And so that was the flip of the switch for me, because it went from you buying the physical copy and getting the digital for free to buying the digital copy and getting the physical for free. And so I have a whole collection of this that I just got from getting the physical copy of, from buying the digital copy, that I didn't even open any of the discs. So I got a couple of collector's items down here, honestly, just from the popularity of the movie at the time, and then it not being open. So shout out to Voodoo and Walmart and everybody that made that possible. And now I just buy my movies on Voodoo. There's other places that you can buy digital movies. Like I said, you can buy it on Amazon. And where else? I think, they got an app called Movies Anywhere, where if you buy, no matter where you buy them from, you can watch them on that one app. So I'm really here today advocating buying the digital movies, because first of all, we all got smart TVs. So it doesn't make any sense for you to go hook up your Blu-ray player to a 4K TV. Your resolution is going to suck. Step your game up. Get your digital 4K copy of your movies and watch them straight off the app. Like, it only makes sense. The paradigm has shifted. Just like nobody plays CDs anymore, nobody watches Blu-rays, DVDs anymore. Not in this house. I ain't gonna say you can't find them, because like I said, I got stacks of them, but it's only 1 or 2 discs that I use, and that's because they're not available on digital. So if it's a movie that I want to see and it's not available on digital and I gotta order it, best believe that disc is going into a special place that nobody's going to find, and I'm not letting those out of my sight. So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk to y'all about, is these digital copy movies. Not the bootleg. I'm talking about the actual purchase of movies that you own in the digital world. We headed to the metaverse. That's what I'm doing next. We're going to talk about that again, because I keep talking shit about the metaverse and why it's so messed up. And we're also going to talk about some mental health issues coming up. So that's two of the goals that I got here soon. But today I wanted to talk to y'all about digital movies. And I appreciate y'all joining me on the I Just Got Off Work show on WETF. I am your host, CB. You can hit me up. On Instagram. Wait. You can hit me up on Twitter at The Root Educator. And you can send emails to my Gmail at therooteducator@gmail.com. It is 7:10. We've been on the air for a good little while, so I'm going to let y'all go. Make sure you go get some of that WETF merch. It is fire. We're going to get some new designs up, too, because I know y'all tired of... Well, y'all can't be tired of saying the same thing because ain't nobody bought nothing yet. So make sure you go buy the old stuff. If you go buy the old stuff, then I put up some new stuff. That's how it works. Anyway, again, appreciate y'all joining me. I'll holler at y'all next time. One love.